The Seattle Seahawks are facing a massive roster crisis that could change everything we know about our championship future. We just won the Super Bowl, but now we only have 4 picks in the upcoming draft. This lack of draft capital means someone we love might have to be traded away very soon. Our front office is looking for ways to get more picks, and that puts young stars in a very dangerous position right now. Before we dive into the details, please help us hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers on the channel and leave a like today. Anthony Bradford is a name that every Seahawks fan should be watching closely as the draft approaches this year. Even though he started every single game during our incredible Super Bowl run, his future with the team is suddenly very uncertain. The problem is that our team only has 4 picks in the next draft, which is one of the lowest amounts in the entire league. Because we have so few picks, our general manager needs to find creative ways to get more selections to help the team stay strong. This means that established players like this young guard are now on the hot seat. When we look at the numbers from last season, they tell a very concerning story about his performance on the field. He finished with one of the lowest grades for guards in the NFL, especially when it came to protecting the quarterback. He struggled with speed and often let defenders get past him too easily. This is a major issue because we need to keep our star quarterback safe if we want to win another championship. The team is likely looking for new talent to fix the offensive line because it was a weak spot last year. If our leaders find a player they like in the middle rounds, they might decide to move on from him very quickly. This young player is also going into the final year of his contract, which makes the situation even more urgent for the front office. They don't want to lose him for nothing later, so they might try to trade him now to get a draft pick in return. It is a tough situation for a player who just helped us win a title, but football is a business. We have to make sure every spot on the roster is as strong as possible. If we can find a faster and more consistent player in the draft, it would make our whole offense much better. This is why the draft is so stressful for the players currently on the team. They know that new rookies are coming to take their jobs. Our general manager is famous for making big moves on draft day, and this year will be no different. We need to find a way to get more than just 4 picks to stay competitive in a tough division. Jalen Milroe is perhaps the most interesting person to talk about when we look at our team's future right now. We drafted this young quarterback in the 3rd round just a year ago, and everyone was excited about his potential. He was supposed to be the player who would eventually take over and lead the team for many years to come. He has incredible physical tools, including an elite arm and the ability to run past defenders with ease. However, the situation changed completely because of how well Sam Darnold played last season. He became a superstar and even won the Super Bowl MVP award, which changed the entire plan for our franchise. Now this young prospect finds himself stuck in a very difficult spot on the depth chart. He spent most of last year being inactive on game days because the team didn't need him to play. Our head coach prefers to give reps to players who are actually going to be on the field, which leaves him with very few chances to practice. This has led to many rumors that the team might trade him during the draft to get more picks. Since we only have 4 selections right now, trading a talented young passer could be the best way to get more value. Other teams around the league are always looking for a young project with a huge arm and 3 years of team control. This makes him a very valuable asset that could bring back a high draft pick in return. We could use that pick to help other parts of the team that need more depth, like the defensive line or the linebackers. It is a strange situation to be in, because we still believe in his talent, but we might not have a place for him anymore. This young quarterback is caught in a logjam behind a veteran like Drew Lock and our Super Bowl hero. He wants to play and show what he can do, but that might not happen in Seattle. If a team offers us a good pick on the 2nd day of the draft, it would be very hard for our general manager to say no. We need more bodies on this roster, and trading one player to get several others might be the smart move. It is a gamble, but it is one that we might have to take. This situation matters so much because it will decide if we can stay at the top of the NFL for a long time. When you only have 4 picks in a deep draft, you are missing out on a lot of young and cheap talent. We need these young players to fill out our roster and keep us under the salary cap. If we don't find a way to get more picks, we might have to rely on expensive veterans who are past their prime. This could lead to a situation where we start losing more games because our team isn't deep enough to handle injuries. Trading a player like our backup quarterback would help us win more games in the short term by bringing in players who can help right now. We have holes on the defensive side of the ball that need to be filled if we want to stop the best offenses in the league. If we keep the roster exactly as it is, we are taking a huge risk of failure next season. Other teams are getting better, and they are using the draft to add lots of new talent. We cannot afford to fall behind just because we wanted to keep a backup player who isn't even playing on Sundays. This is about making the team as strong as possible for the entire season. A deep roster is what wins championships, and we saw that last year during our run to the title. We need to make sure we have enough bodies to survive the long and grueling season. If we can turn one player into 2 or 3 new contributors, it would be a massive win for our franchise. It would allow us to fix the offensive line and add more speed to our defense at the same time. This is the simple reality of how the NFL works today. You have to be willing to make tough choices to stay successful. Fans might be sad to see a talented young player leave, but they will be happy when the team is winning games in December. We want to see this team dominate for years, not just for one lucky season. That is why these draft decisions are the most important part of the entire offseason for our Seahawks. The tension is building as we get closer to the draft because there are 2 very different ways this could go. In the best-case scenario, our general manager pulls off a brilliant trade that gives us several extra picks. We could trade our young backup quarterback and get a high pick that turns into a star defensive player. Then, we could use our other picks to find a new guard who protects the quarterback perfectly. If this works, our team will be even stronger and deeper than it was during our Super Bowl championship run. We would have young talent at every position and plenty of depth to handle any injuries that come our way. This would set us up to be a powerhouse for the next 5 years. But if it fails, the consequences could be devastating for our beloved franchise. If we trade away our talented young passer, and then our starter gets hurt, we would be in big trouble. We would have no one to lead the offense, and the season could fall apart very quickly. Also, if the players we draft don't turn out to be good, we will have lost a valuable asset for nothing. We could end up with a weaker roster and fewer options for the future. This is the fear that keeps every fan and coach up at night during draft week. You are essentially betting on the unknown and hoping that your scouts are right about these new kids. If we make the wrong move, we could go from champions to a losing team in just 1 year. We have seen it happen to other teams before, and we don't want it to happen to us. The pressure is on our front office to make the perfect decisions with the very limited resources they have. Every pick must be a hit, and every trade must be a win. There is absolutely no room for error when you only have 4 selections to work with. The margin between success and failure is very thin right now. We are all waiting to see if our leadership can work their magic once again. If they succeed, the sky is the limit for this team. If they miss, it could be a long and difficult road back to the top of the mountain. In the end, the Seattle Seahawks are at a major crossroads that will define our future for years. We are the champions, but we are also a team with very few ways to add new talent right now. Our general manager has to decide if he wants to keep the players we have or trade them for more picks. It is a difficult choice because it involves moving on from players who have potential but aren't playing. The situation with our young backup quarterback and our starting guard shows just how quickly things can change in this league. We need to get more picks to stay competitive and keep this championship window open as long as possible. Be honest with me, would you trust a rookie or a trade pick over a player who is already on the roster? It is a tough question that every fan is debating right now. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel as we try to hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Also, don't forget to like the video and turn on notifications so you never miss any updates. We will be here to cover every move our team makes.